Hello and welcome to this brief webinar on the Evolve Dividend Stability Preferred Share ETF listed on the TSX with the ticker PREF, P-R-E-F. We're going to cover off a few topics in this webinar, including an overview of the preferred share market and its recent performance, the tax loss selling opportunity that exists, and of course how to do exchanges, as well as a quick overview on the Evolve Dividend Stability Preferred Share ETF. Let's start with taking a quick look back over the last 1 year. It's definitely been challenging for preferred shares, driven by volatile equity markets and interest rate uncertainty. Prefs have been oversold and mispriced, and given the size of the market at only $70 billion, has been highly driven by supply and demand. But there are a number of reasons to be optimistic. The risk-reward ratio is extremely high. Dividend yields ranging from 5.25% to 6.5% on a tax advantage basis, which is equivalent to over 7.5% yield in a corporate bond. Credit markets remain stable, and most importantly, sentiment is improving. We're seeing net positive flows as well as institutional interest in the market. This chart shows the performance of all of the major asset classes over the last year as well as the last month. And as you'll notice, preferred shares are the only major asset class over the last 1 year with negative performance, which is why we think that there's going to be substantial tax loss selling come November and December of this year. We took a look back over the last few years where there was significant tax loss selling, and that would have been 2013, 2015, as well as last year, 2018. And what we looked at is the price performance of preferred shares during that time of tax loss selling, which is typically in December of that year. And you'll notice a major drop in the prices of preferred shares in the first few weeks of the month. What's great is that we had a substantial rebound towards the end of the month because it was oversold and we had individuals believing that it was a great buying opportunity. But the challenge is if you leave your tax loss selling for December, you're going to find that liquidity is at a premium in the preferred share market. Based on this, we're suggesting that it may make more sense to do your tax loss selling earlier this year, like in October and November, instead of waiting until December to do so. We designed the Evolve Dividend Stability Preferred Share ETF to potentially be a destination of some of that tax loss selling you're considering to do. Here on this slide, you'll see some of the methodology that we're using for this fund. We start with the entire Canadian preferred share universe, and then we extract out those that have less than a minimum market cap of $100 million or are not trading on a daily basis a minimum of $100,000. We'll also extract out the preferred shares that fall below the P3 low rating. We look at only rate resets that have a minimum floor or coupon feature. And then finally, from that universe, we'll take the 50 preferred shares that are trading closest to par. This is a very important point within our methodology. Because we're taking the preferred shares that are trading closest to par, right now that's about a 1% discount to par on average in our portfolio. That means that these preferred shares should have the least amount of tax loss selling pressure come December because there's not a lot of losses to be had. To give you a comparison, the average discount to par in the index right now is about 20%. And here you'll also see that we've taken on a higher credit quality portfolio as well. One of the easiest ways to do some tax loss selling is to actually exchange in some of your single line preferred shares or other preferred share ETFs. This can be much more effective than trying to sell this in the open market yourself. This diagram actually shows you how a typical exchange would work, or transfer mechanism. You'd show us your underlying preferred shares that you'd like to tender in for exchange. We would go to your market maker and negotiate out best pricing, and then of course we'd exchange in units of PREF for you. And typically those units would be coming in at NAV, which means that we're trying to get you out in the best possible price of the single lines or the PREF ETFs that you own and get you into PREF with the best possible pricing as well. Quick overview of the fund. The current dividend yield in the portfolio is 5.25%. There are 50 positions in the fund right now. The management fee is 0.45%. It's risk rated low to medium in your system. And of course, the ticker is PREF, listed on the TSX, PREF. I'd like to thank you for your time today. If any of you have any further questions in regards to exchanges or specific questions about PREF, please contact your Evolve ETFs relationship.